I'm Steve, and it's been a while since I've posted anything on YouTube. It's been over 3 years now, I suppose. And likely most of you have forgotten that you even subscribed to me, which is totally fair. But I am still here, I'm still alive, still kicking. Have not posted anything in a long time, and there's a reason why. There's multiple reasons why, but ultimately, how do I say this? It's very unlikely that anybody that I actually know, in real life is going to actually see this. So, I'll spill my guts. When I recorded the last video that I've posted on this channel, if you haven't seen it, it's a video that I posted last about 3 years ago. It was a Friday the 13th Blu-ray box set unboxing. And in it, I was very cantankerous. Unlike myself. And I realize now why I was that way. I was going through a very difficult time in my life. It was the onset of some severe depression. The worst I've ever felt in my life, and it lasted for a long time. It didn't help that I quit smoking around the same time. Why did I pick that time to quit smoking? I don't know. Makes no sense. But regardless, I'd quit taking my medication, which didn't help. And it was what H.P. Lovecraft might call a cosmic indifference that I felt. Existential crisis, I guess, is the word most people would use. It felt much worse than that, really, but regardless. It's taken me a long time to heal from that. But heal I have. And I'm still here. And I've got quite a few movies to share with you. Movies that maybe you'll be interested in seeing, adding to my collection. I won't feature everything that I've purchased since then, but most things. And I've kind of come to a few conclusions when it comes to collecting. Whilst in my existential crisis, I realized that stuff, for lack of a better word, the stuff that we collect, isn't worth that much if you're suffering from debilitating depression. And I really stopped buying things. I really stopped collecting things. I realized that this thing that we call physical media, which I hate that term, by the way. I think it's sort of like content creation. It's like, content. Content is nothing but disposable information. I think that these things that we collect, these films that we collect, are more than content, more than physical media. They're art. And if they're not art, they are stories. They're art and they're stories, and they're things that we find pleasurable in a world that is lacking in a lot of pleasure. So, I limited what I bought for a good year or so. And I've only recently started not rebuying, but buying things that I found interesting. I've also decided to sort of, I guess you could say, pare down my collection I think a lot of people, they buy films that are, say, a collector's edition from Arrow Video or Shot Factory or Scream Factory. And maybe they don't even like it. You know, maybe they are having a hard time finding anything to kind of relate to connect with that particular film or series of films that they're buying. But, you know, FOMO, for fear of missing out. And so they add these titles to their collections. But it makes their collections very predictable and kind of hollow, I think. I think that a person should have, much like their personality, I think their collection should reflect who they are. Their likes, their ideas, what they find interesting. And furthermore, I think that if you buy something tangible, a film on Blu-ray or DVD or 4K, I think that you should have the target of rewatching it or watching it, period. To have things that you collect ceaselessly and have it sit on a shelf somewhere that you've watched maybe once. It's an awful waste of money and space, I think. This is my personal opinion. I used to be the guy that did that, but I'm trying not to be now. I know that physical media, as they call it, these films and TV shows and things that we collect, I know that they're important, and I know that streaming is something that can take away these things at any time. It's very true. But I think a lot of people, from the videos I've seen online, people that I follow, and different videos that I click on every now and then, I think there's almost a feeling that I have to collect these things. I have to buy them. I think they think that they're sort of custodians of this film's future. If I don't buy this and have this on my shelf, there may not be ever another chance for me to buy this, and I'll never be able to own this ever again. I have to have it right now. I have to be the custodian of this film's future. It's not true. It's not true. It's for your collection, and I respect that. I think it's awesome, and I concur. But you're not saving cinema history, okay? You are perpetuating your collection. I think if you go into it thinking that you're saving a sort of a piece of cinema history, I think you're maybe a little ill-informed. These discs that we buy, there's no guarantee how long they'll last. There's a thing called disc rot. That's very real. I've lost some movies of my own on DVD because of it. One of my film noir classic collections from Warner Brothers, most of that set I cannot play anymore because of disc rot. So I don't know how rampant it is. I hope it's not very rampant, but it's very real, and it's something that people should consider. So, but let's get to the meat of this video, the reason why I'm recording it, and if you're watching this, probably the reason why you're watching it, is for me to show off a few of the films that I've purchased in the last couple of years. These come from a lot of sales, like Criterion, Barnes & Noble sales, Kino Lorber, Studio Classic sales, and etc., etc. So, and these are in no real order. The first one, I bought this a few months ago probably at this point, from Best Buy. It's a steelbook. I don't collect steelbooks, but it was on steelbook. It's an Ultra HD. It's my favorite. It's in my top 20 favorite movies of all time. It is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 4K UHD, just a white background. It looks amazing. I am not a person who requires to have 4K Ultra HD. I've sunk quite a bit of money into my Blu-ray collection. I don't intend on replacing my movies with 4K versions at every turn, but on a few occasions I will, as you will see. But here is the inside of the disc. It's a feature film and a Blu-ray of bonus features. So another purchase from Best Buy. This was, I think, $12. Ultra UHD. I wouldn't have picked it up otherwise, but it was kind of cheap, and what the hell? It is Reservoir Dogs. I'm a Quentin Tarantino fan. Yes, I am. And it looks amazing, by the way. What I really wanted to get, and I finally picked this up, Best Buy also, it is Pulp Fiction on 4K UHD. Cool stuff. From this past summer's Criterion sale, from Barnes & Noble, it is Romeo and Juliet, the Franco Zeffirelli Romeo and Juliet. I was shown this in high school. Yeah. I was also shown Polanski's Macbeth in high school. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Another pickup from the Barnes & Noble sale, Criterion sale, is the Infernal Affairs trilogy. I have seen the first film. I think I own it on DVD somewhere, but I've never seen the subsequent sequels. The sequels. So, very cool. This I would have gladly paid for on Blu-ray, but it just so happens to be it's a Blu-ray 4K UHD combo. It is a series of films that I love very much. I have the original Sony DVDs of these films that came out like probably 15 years ago at this point. It's the Renowned Westerns, the Bud Boetticher, Randolph Scott series of Westerns, the Tall T being my favorite. And this is a combo Blu-ray and 4K UHD release. I don't think they sell it any other way but that way. But I'm very glad to have it, though. These are some really amazing films. Okay, one of many here. I got this during a sale from Kino Lorber. If you've watched my channel at any point in time, you might remember. You might. I'm a big film noir guy. Yeah. And these series of box sets that Kino Lorber is putting out, I don't collect them all because, quite frankly, some of them I just don't have any really desire to own. But some of these are very worthwhile films, and I want to have them in my collection. Here we go. This particular box includes Undercover Girl with Alexis Smith, Scott Brady, One Way Street, very interesting film featuring Dan Duryea and James Mason. Is it film noir? It might be. I think it's partially noir. It's pretty good, though. And this one I have not yet watched. Appointment with a Shadow. Okay, here's another 4K UHD that I purchased. And I have this on DVD. I have it on Laserdisc. That whole Laserdisc thing of mine, I don't really... I have a lot of Laserdiscs now that I don't know what to do with because I've stopped collecting them, and quite frankly, they are collecting dust. But anyway, I had this on Laserdisc. I have this on DVD. I have it on Criterion Blu-ray, and now I have it on 4K UHD. It is one of my favorites. So, that's the only reason why. Night of the Hunter. Classic film. Classic. It's like a fairy tale film noir. If you've never seen it before, you owe it to yourself. Robert Mitchum is amazing. Shelley Winters, of course. Directed by Charles Lawton, his only feature film directing film that he directed. Okay, moving on, sorry. There's quite a lot of these, so I'm trying to get through them as fast as I can. This is during the Kino Lorber going out of print sale. It is My Gun is Quick. It's Mickey Spillane adaptation featuring one of the most boring car chases of all time. No special features at all. I wouldn't have bought that, but it was going out of print, and I was afraid that I might miss it. It was only like $11, $9, I think. So best to have it and kind of keep it there. Well, I watch it every 2 or 3 years, probably. I intend to. Here's a film I've never watched before, never seen it before. Never even heard of it, but it has a cool looking sounding story, and I thought, why not? It was on sale. The Cop. Moving along, more Kino Lorber pickups. This was released a couple of summers ago. It is a UHD 4K Blu-ray of The Killing, Stanley Kubrick's classic heist noir. I do own it on Criterion Blu-ray. I own it on DVD. I own it on Laserdisc a couple times, actually. But it looks great in 4K UHD, and I'm not a specialist when it comes to, I'm not pixel peeping the screen, so I couldn't tell you if it's exactly the way it should be as far as like the audio-visual standpoint goes. But it looks pretty damn good, and it certainly satisfies me. Next up, another film I own on DVD, Blu-ray, and now 4K, Stanley Kubrick's Killer's Kiss. I actually really like this film. It's visually just an amazing piece of noir pop art. Next up, another Kino Lorber pickup. I didn't get this on sale. I bought this when it was released, and I bought this film so many times, but it's one of my favorites. It's Orson Welles, Rita Hayworth, The Lady from Shanghai. Okay, a Criterion I picked up probably a couple Christmases ago, which I have yet to actually watch. It's got a lot of great, interesting special features on it as well. Classic sort of gangster film from the Warner Brother days of classic gangsters. It's High Sierra, Criterion. Ida Lupino, Humphrey Bogart, directed by Raoul Walsh. I got this last Christmas. For Christmas, it's a 4K UHD for a film that does not really deserve to be in 4K. But it comes with a Blu-ray as well, and a ton of really interesting special features. It is the first film that adapted Mickey Spillane's iconic Mike Hammer. It is I, the Jury. It is also in 3D Blu-ray, but I don't own a 3D Blu-ray player. So unfortunately, I do not get to enjoy that third dimension. I am a big Batman fanatic. The character, I haven't really followed him in several years as far as the comic books go, but I used to read him religiously when I was a kid. Up through my teens and even into my 20s and partially my 30s, I guess. I kind of stopped following him after a while, but love the character. I collect many of the numerous omnibi of Batman comics, and I also enjoy a lot of the feature films and animated films that have come out featuring the Caped Crusader. And this is a standout adaptation of an amazing comic book, Batman: The Long Halloween. I would suggest reading the comic before you actually watch this. You don't have to, but it's good to appreciate just how influential that comic book was when it came out, The Long Halloween. Written by Jeff Loeb and drawn by Tim Sale. This is the 4K UHD. It was actually released in 2 parts, and And I waited until they released it in this deluxe edition, which just condenses them into one long movie. More Batman for you. This is the Batman Beyond, the complete television series. A very well-written sort of cyberpunk take on Batman. Still tying in Bruce Wayne and that character with a newer Batman that's more high-tech and cyberpunk. A film I've yet to watch, but it's on my list. Got this through Arrow Video, the U.S. version of Arrow Video. It is Borsalino, featuring Alain Delon and Jean-Paul Belmondo. Film I've been wanting to see for quite a long time. More Batman, why not? I did end up purchasing on 4K UHD the Batman film that was released with Robert Pattinson. I like it quite a bit. It's a different take, but I think it's a good take on the Dark Knight. Here's something I got last summer at the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale. I've been a long admirer of this guy. I own one of his films on Blu-ray, but this collects all of them in one nicely produced, handsome edition. Bruce Lee, his greatest hits. Very interesting box set. I do own Enter the Dragon on Blu-ray, but this has them all. More Batman. How about The Batman, the complete series? This completes my Batman animated collection. More film noir. How about that? The Dockside Cinema. And I'll show you what's inside of these. First, we have Lady on a Train, Deanna Durbin film. It's kind of a Christmas noir. Takes place on Christmas anyway. Tangier. I first caught this on YouTube, and I really enjoyed it. Finally, we have Take One False Step, which is okay. William Powell and Shelley Winters. It sounds like it might be pretty good, but it's fair. Lots of noir coming up, okay? Here's another Kino Lorber film noir box set. They've made so many of these. I would not want to collect them all, but there's a couple coming out in the coming months that I'm looking forward to checking out. Flesh and Fury, it's a boxing noir. I liked it a lot. Tony Curtis and Jan Sterling. Jan Sterling plays a real tramp in this. The Square Jungle, Tony Curtis, Ernest Borgnine, another boxing noir. I love boxing noirs. There's a lot of commentaries on these I'd like to listen to, but who the hell has time? World in My Corner, another boxing noir. This one with Audie Murphy, Barbara Rush. It's not bad. I shouldn't say this, but a lot of these you can find on YouTube. But I wanted to save them. I wanted to own them for various reasons. Maybe not all of them, but if one came in a box that I didn't like as much, that's okay. Because there was a reason why I bought these particular sets. More film noir for you. This one includes Because of You, Loretta Young and Jeff Chandler. Jeff Chandler, one of my favorites. Outside the Law with Ray Danton. It's a fair film. And finally in this set, The Midnight Story, Tony Curtis. More noir. In this, we have Street of Chance with Burgess Meredith and Claire Trevor. Very interesting film. It's on YouTube. I mean, look, there's watching a film and appreciating a film. And you can watch a film on YouTube and enjoy it and get something out of it, but to appreciate it is to watch it multiple times and discover the little nuances and things that maybe escaped you from the first viewing. And, you know, I want to watch these films over again. That's the bottom line of it. I like to have them. They reflect my personality, my taste in film. So, yeah, I'm glad to own them. I don't feel bad about... Okay, I felt bad when I bought the Al Adamson box set that Severin put out a few years ago. I feel bad about that because I have no interest in those films. None. They're bad movies. They're enjoyable in many parts, but why do I own it? You know? That's why I'm downsizing. I'm downsizing my collection. I am getting rid of the stuff that just doesn't interest me, that I bought and it's not me, you know? I believe this is the last Film Noir box set. Finally, right? I bought this one mostly for The Boss with John Payne. Man, he is a hard ass in this. You like watching him in The Miracle on 34th Street every year? Not, it's the same actor, but man, he is hard-boiled. He did hard-boiled really well. Interesting film, Chicago Confidential with Beverly Garland. And, yeah, Brian Keith. Just trailers for this, no commentary. And finally, a Jacques Tourneur film, The Fearmakers, featuring the man, Dana Andrews. And I think that squares away my Film Noir box sets from the last few years. Now, here is a few others that I picked up in the last few months. A few of them I got for Christmas. The first one is The Night Gallery, Season 1. It's a show I never really took a lot of interest in, but I'm a big Twilight Zone fan. And I know that the quality of the writing is not the same on par with the Twilight Zone. Still, it's probably better. It's mostly better than a lot of what is put out these days. So, anyway, that's Season 1. The Trial, 4K UHD Blu-ray edition of The Trial, Orson Welles film. It's a film that I've owned for several years on a public domain like alpha.com DVD, and was hoping that Criterion would eventually release this. I could have done with just a Blu-ray, but this comes with a UHD and a Blu-ray. So, it looks great. Film I've owned on DVD before, and wanted to upgrade, and I'm glad the Criterion finally released this a couple years ago. It's Joel and Ethan Coen's Miller's Crossing, which I can never quite get tired of watching. I can watch this at any time. The dialogue, the Hammett-esque story, really, the cinematography is just all, the acting is all, the writing, it's all just so much, it's so good, and so amazing and wonderful, and I could watch this at any time, so I'm glad that I finally own a Criterion version of that. I picked this up just a few days ago at Best Buy. I could have done with just a Blu-ray, quite honestly, but this comes with a 4K Ultra HD and a Blu-ray and a digital code for Steven Spielberg's Duel, written by Richard Matheson. This, which I guess I shouldn't really talk about because it's not technically legal, but here it is. These next two, they're not exactly essential. I could do without them, but it's Adam West in his last final performances. So how could I not? Plus, I got them really cheaply on, was it Grove.com, I think. Batman: The Return of the Cape Crusaders. Animated film. It is a lot of fun. It's quite a lot of fun. It's not to be taken seriously. It's just a hoot to watch. And this is the sequel that came out, and I think it was released either just before or just after Adam West passed, featuring William Shatner, my William Shatner, as Two-Face in Batman vs. Two-Face. Again, these are a lot of fun. These are not to be meant to be taken seriously. Talk about not to be taken seriously, but a lot of fun. How about this? Kolchak the Night Stalker, the complete series. I got this for Christmas. I own the previous editions of The Night Stalker and The Night Strangler, released by Kino Lorber a couple years ago. I own them on Blu-ray already, and I was elated to find out that they were going to release the whole series. It's quite an amazing series. Here we go. It's The Night Gallery Season 2, which I believe was the only full season that they got. They got like 2 half seasons and 1 full season. Excited to dig into that. And finally, Night Gallery Season 3 on Blu-ray. Finally, this is finally going to be over. I apologize because this has been a long video. I got this just today with some money I got from Christmas. I've ordered this on Amazon, and I've been wanting it for quite a while. It went out of print for a little while, and it came back into print just recently, and I'm excited. I haven't even taken it out of the plastic yet. Very excited to own Father Knows Best, the complete television series. If you've never seen it before, it represents an America that probably never existed, but we wish it had. It obviously predates me by several decades, but watching it, it's just a time capsule into a different era. Robert Young is amazing. Jane Wyatt, whom I fell in love with so quickly, because before I'd only just known her as playing Spock's mom in Star Trek, the original series, and then in Star Trek 4. And she was great in that, but I never really knew her for anything else. I'd seen her in a few older films, but nothing significant. And when I finally watched Father Knows Best I streamed it on some channel a few years ago, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with her. And the kids are great too. Lauren Chapin, Billy Gray, and Eleanor Donahue. Just an amazing cast. Again, a window into a time and place that we wish existed, that we wish could happen. And it's so far removed from anything and everything going on in this day and age. And that's reason enough to enjoy it. You can watch that show easily on several different websites, I think. I believe it's streaming right now on Tubi. Tubi is my kind of streaming channel of choice right now because it's got so damn much cool stuff. A lot of great TV series and films that aren't necessarily the most accessible films to watch, or TV series to watch. Father Knows Best, I believe it has all 6 seasons. And do yourself a favor. Step back in time. Robert Young and his family. Father Knows Best. I know that might not seem like a lot of films and Blu-rays and DVDs to collect over the last few years, but trust me, I know what I want now, and I know what I don't want. So I will still make videos updating you with my collection every few months, I guess. Let you know what I'm watching, let you know what I've bought. I don't know why, but it's fun to watch what people buy and kind of see their collection as it grows. I hope I've said nothing to offend, and I hope that my thoughts on these films or physical media hasn't been too controversial. I don't think it has. You know, tell me I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong. Leave me a comment to let me know. I would love to get your thoughts. So, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you if you've been subscribed to me for this long. It's been it's very much a privilege and honor to have someone subscribe to this channel. So thank you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a nice day.